All right. So, this will be the first, I won't say it first, but I'll say the first titled edition of Armchair Rants with the ye old Guardsmanom. And I thought it was necessary to just go and throw this out there as a kind of a little bit of a mental exercise. Because apparently people don't do enough mental exercise. They don't think. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to think for you for a few seconds because apparently you need someone to. It has become my observation in life that people do not understand what the standard mode of operation should be and what it really is in reality, even though they say, oh no, that's not how it works. Excuse the fuck out of me, but experience says you're wrong. And I'm going to walk you through how that's the case. To those of you who would go and make phone calls to your representatives. Oh, Lord. I have a very specific thing I have to say to you. Those who choose to push their masters to do something acquiesce that those are their masters. If you're going to make a phone call to your representatives in Congress, then you are saying that they are the ones who speak for you and dictate to you. I don't fucking make phone calls to those asshats. They don't represent me. I represent me. So making it abundantly clear and pertinent to the situation at hand. If you're going to call up your representatives in Congress and say, well, I want this particular bill to pass, what you're saying is that regardless of what you do with this particular piece of legislature that you guys wrote up, I want it to go through. Or did you not pay attention with the HPA, the Hearing Protection Act? Were you not paying attention? Did you not see the truth of it? I mean, I warned people to the point of literally speaking into an echo chamber because I'm the only one sitting there talking about it. When everybody else said, oh no, that's not how this works. This is going to be a great thing for us gun owners. How about now? Still believe that? Because if you do, you're dumber than I thought. Sorry, let me put it into a more intellectual way of speaking. You are more stupid than I thought was possible. Comprendes? So, in other words, you need to start governing yourself. Stop asking permission. Stop doing this shit of a dance of, well, I want you to go and do this because your laws state that we have to do it this way. So in order to do it the way that I want to do it, I want you to change your laws, even though you won't follow them. And you're going to make my life harder because you're going to change the law in the way that it's going to function the best for you. See, this is why I do not fucking listen to Congress. I do not listen to these asshats. I don't fucking play that game. And I don't purchase fucking stupidity. A cartridge gun is just simply that. It's a projectile weapon that utilizes cartridges. And that's the only regulated gun. The only regulated firearm. Maybe you didn't realize this, but black powder guns, completely unregulated. Maybe you didn't realize this, but air guns, completely unregulated. Yet both of these are lethal weapons. They worked perfectly good for the individuals probably about, 5-6 generations before you. Yet you are so adamant that you have to have a semi-automatic Glock 17 with a glicky switch on the back end because, this needs to be the case. And you need to have a suppressor without a fucking tax stamp and all this other shit. So you're going to go to your masters and tell them that you need them to go and change something, even though it's obviously not going to be what you want. Rather than turning around and saying, you do not dictate my life. I'm going to do what I feel is right. And I'm going to do it in a way to where you can't touch me. Because I'm smart enough to do it that way. This is my biggest problem that I have with Jared from Guns and Gadgets, that I have with Colio Noir. This is the problems that I have with VSO. This is the problem I have with freaking Langley. This is the problem I have with Heavy Duty Country. I mean, all you guys sit there and say, our government is our friend and I trust them. That's what you're saying. I don't trust my government. I do not love my government. I fucking hate their guts. I do not trust them I don't trust them in a fucking pink frilly tutu and a damn inflatable fucking unicorn swimmy float in a motherfucking puddle. That's how much I do not trust them. These people literally can't tell the difference between a patriot and an insurrectionist. Yet you want them to make law to tell you how to live. And I'm the bad guy for saying that. Sorry, miss me with your bullshit. Wake the fuck up, people. I'm not talking about being woke. I'm talking about actually thinking with your brain, the thing that God stuck into your skull and said, here, motherfucker, here's an operational computer that I put into you and you're born with. I hope you use it. This is where I'm coming from here. You're not thinking for yourself. You're asking someone else to think for you. This is why I bought air guns. And when I was finally pushed by family members who were like, you need something a little bit more powerful, I went and I bought a black powder gun and continued on the black powder thing. This is specifically why. Even though I could go right down here to Wolf Arms any day of the week, go pass a background check, and in a month have whatever firearm I want to have. And I mean whatever firearm I want to have. We're talking giggle switches. We're talking things that go boom. Any firearm I want to have. Because I've shown competence. This is my point. Your laws do not stop a criminal from doing something. They stop a lawful individual from doing something. Like me, for instance. I'm not going to go break the law and go buy a Glock off the fucking street. If I'm going to buy a Glock, I'm going to buy it from a store. Now, the difference is, you guys will only go to the store and buy the Glock, and you'll do it in a way that allows the government to tell you how you may or may not. Whereas, I'm going to go and buy a fucking, an old Civil War revolver, or even older black powder gun, because I refuse to be dictated to by the government. Pardon me. for the burp, not for my philosophy. I'm not going to be dictated to. I don't know why this is such a hard concept to grasp. Maybe it's, a confidence level issue, an inability to understand how to be a real American. You need to be fucking strong-willed. You need to have an indomitable spirit. You need to be the son of a bitch that they just say, fuck it, I'm not dealing with it, dude. Get away from me. You need to be that person. Because apparently 99.9% of the American public have lost that particular. They don't have the gumption to stand up and say, you know what, motherfucker? No. I've seen it every fucking where. Everywhere. I don't respect a motherfucker who sits there and goes, oh, it's okay. We just go call the police. You're going to be waiting about a half an hour. And in that half an hour, that criminal is going to beat the snot out of you, take everything that you own and love, and then leave you for dead. When the police finally do show up with the paramedics, because that's what's necessary at this point, you're shit out of luck. Oh, and by the way, they won't catch the son of a bitch who did it. As a matter of fact, unless you know them by name and you can identify them in a police lineup, they're not going to do a fucking thing. They're going to literally do the short footwork that it takes to prove that you don't know what the fuck's going on, and then they're going to leave it be. And you become a victim again because you chose to outsource your violence instead of being the violent individual at the moment you need to be. This is what I keep on trying to push towards people. You need to have that dog in you. Stop being a pussy. Grow the fuck up. Because nobody is going to pat your ass. You need to do it yourself. Nobody is going to fucking pick you up out of the ditch. You have to be able to have the dog in you to crawl your fucking ass out of it. So, miss me with the whole, we need to get this act passed. We need to get these laws passed. Because let me tell you something. That is the same mentality that the loyalists used during the revolution. We just need to get our king on our side. We just need him to do what we need him to do. And so we're going to go and kneel before him and grovel and beg and plead rather than standing up and saying, no, motherfucker, you're 3,000 goddamn miles away. You're not touching me. You're not going to fuck with me. And the motherfuckers that you send, you'd better feed them well, because I tell you right now, they might just fucking stand up and be part of my crew. They might just fucking say, fuck you, I'm done with this shit, because nothing is worth being a fucking peon in order to get shot at and buried in a fucking shallow grave in the middle of the fucking woods. This is why I keep saying, have self-governance. Not the fucking governance of the fucking government. You control yourself. You control your willingness to go out there and hurt people. You control your willingness to allow people to hurt you. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going and finding a way of defending yourself, you are allowing people to hurt you. And you're willing to. And when you say, oh no, I'll just call the police. It's not my problem. Don't worry about me. I didn't do anything. Look, you pussy motherfucker. Yes, you didn't do anything. Which means that if there's a bully out there that knows about your ass, you're a prime fucking target. So miss me with your fucking your whiny ass attitude and all that other horse shit. It does not fucking make a difference. You want to know what the biggest separating point between me and Democrats and me and Republicans is? I don't give a shit. They care too much. That's literally it. I do not fucking care. I've been broken by this goddamn country. I've been broken by this society, dictating to me how I must live, because otherwise I must be something worse. This is why I think that felons are actually the best Americans. Honest to God. Because they were willing to stand up for themselves. Not wait for some asshat to get off of their fucking shift. Or some stupid motherfucker to put down the donut. Get up off their ass and go do their job. They saw it as their duty because they were defending life. Or they saw it as their duty because they were providing. I'm not talking about the sickos that just go and fucking do shit to do shit. I'm not talking about those people. Those are the kind of people that I'm not even thinking are human. So let's separate that. I'm talking about the individuals that go and because their children are starving, they went and they robbed a fucking grocery store. I'm talking about the individuals that because somebody marched into their fucking house and raped their daughter, they went out and they found that motherfucker and they put that motherfucker 6 feet under. That's what I'm talking about. These are the felons that I'm talking about that I'm saying are real Americans. And all you other motherfuckers are just sheep. The quiet individuals who go quietly into the fucking cattle cars while people like me are kneeling on the fucking concrete, getting a bullet in their head because they said no. And so they get their final liberty. They get true liberty. While you get the gas chamber. You need to grow a pair. And be somebody. Not just this fucking, oh, well, please, Mr. Senator, please, Mr. Congressman, Congresswoman, could you please give me permissions? Look, I've tried following the laws all my life. But I've tried to do it in a way to where it's not so much following the law as it's following morality. Whereas some of the laws that have come about lately, have been absolute bullshit. And something if you told me that this is how you have to do it in order to do this, I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'll do something else entirely. I'll go find another way. I'll figure out another route. I'll try a different method. Because what you're telling me is that you don't understand reality. You'd rather live in a fantasy. Trust me, I'd rather live in a fantasy world too, except the fact of the matter is my fantasy is moral, not amoral. My fantasy is literally a wife and children, a home, and masculinity. That's my fantasy. Y'all motherfuckers' fantasies are the chick with a tail and no children whatsoever because they're a burden, and disgusting things because it irks people. That is, if that's your fantasy, fine, keep it the fuck away from me. I don't want to hear about it. Because what I've seen on the internet makes me sick. But that, bygones are bygones. Situation of it is that my fantasy is literally the thing I cannot physically have. Cannot. Not, oh, well, if I LARP as it, it'll happen. No. Physically cannot have. Because of something that society did when I was not even born yet. That's my fantasy. Our country actually being a good country, a place where I would be proud to fucking live and die, instead of rather being somebody who has to fight for what is right, has to fight and fucking lose repeatedly because people are stupid and willing to go and fucking sacrifice their freedom and their liberty and my freedom because they're not willing to sit there and say, no, fuck you. I don't give a shit what you wrote down. I don't care what you fucking said. I don't care what fucking authority you think you have. You don't. Because here's the situation of it. Until you take that authority yourself, you're letting them have it. That is consent. This is why I don't understand why you dumb motherfuckers say, well, it's by the consent of the governed and I don't consent, and then you fucking consent. You know what I do? It's very simple. I argue until I'm fucking blue in the face. I tell people that you're wrong, and then I literally point out all the ways that you're wrong. I don't just sit there and say, no, you didn't, or no, you aren't, or no, this, that, or the other. I fucking bring receipts. So here's a receipt for you. All of you dumb motherfuckers that are sitting there and going to Congress and saying, please, please give us the HPA, give us the Short Act, give us these things back. You dumb motherfuckers, you lost that before you were born. Your parents and your grandparents lost it for you. But you're still concerned more so about their whimsy than your own needs and your own reality. Not your fantasy, your reality. You're more worried about, oh, well, can I get a couple of milk bones, rather than, motherfucker, I want the whole goddamn plate. Because what you've done is sit there and poison it all. Except for the food that you're eating, you've given me the poison milk bones. You've told me that I must take these half measures, this compromise, because this compromise gets both of us happy. No, it makes you happy and it makes me fucked. Let's be clear. There's no such thing as a compromise where people like me are concerned. Compromising with you has put me in a position to where, at least in California, I can't defend myself against somebody who's trying to murder me. Many of these other fucking blue bastions, I can't stop somebody trying to murder me until they've already murdered me. Excuse the fuck out of me, but that doesn't sound like America. It's not the America I was born into. It's not the fucking freedom that I remember as a child. Let alone, the freedom that somebody who is 3 times, 4 times my age, or twice my age at this point, recollects and remembers. It's not even close to that. And yet, the freedom that I remember is 10 times the freedom you have now. You want to blame me for not voting? I blame you for voting. I blame you for allowing them to pass this, for acquiescing to their fucking retarded rules. I just try to live my life as best as I see fit. I carry a black powder gun because I'm tired of fucking people telling me, oh, well, we need to make sure that you follow these specific rules. Excuse the fuck out of me. Do the criminals do that? No? Then what's the difference here between you and King George? I'm not asking about between me and a criminal. I'm asking about you and King George. You're acting like a tyrant. You're saying that, no, I'm not going to allow you to do this until you follow the rules that's set down by this organization that has absolutely no fucking real bearing, has no legal justification because of a law that predates them by at least 100 years. You'd rather just be quietly going onto the cattle car. I'm the guy biting at the fucking ankles of the SS soldier as he's sitting there with his pistol on my fucking forehead. We are not the same. I have sat there for decades. And Mr. Smiles, just, okay, whatever. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. You have your life and go live it and whatever. And I'll just be lacking more. Instead of going, you know what, motherfucker? No. Fuck that. You live in your fucking cruel world of being in chains and incapable of personal freedom and dictating your own life. When I say I don't consent, I literally do not fucking consent. I'm done consenting. I'm not going to purchase your fucking, your semi-automatic super duper new fucking special cartridge firing gun that fucking only goes to my prince because, let's be clear, I can fucking finagle one of them motherfuckers with a neodymium fucking magnet. No. And, even worse, the stupid motherfuckers that sit there and say, well, they passed these laws back in the 60s, so they had to, we have to adhere to it. If I adhered to every single one of those laws, I wouldn't know what a cartridge gun was, because I would never have held one. You understand that? Do you get that I would have never have held a fucking cartridge firing weapon in my life had I always adhered to that bullshit? Because I don't know if you knew this, but you cannot hand a firearm to somebody. You can't hand it to them unless they have licensing or are approved by the government. So all of you who have gone out there and taught your children how to shoot a gun, all of you that have gone out there and, heaven forbid, bought your fucking children a cricket gun, or, a little 22 cricket, or a fucking, bought them their first deer rifle, or gave them a firearm to go hunting with at the age of 16 when they've got, just before they get their license. You're a felon. You heard me right. You're a felon. Even if you never got caught for it. Okay? Let's be clear. You broke a law that you think is lawful. Let's forget the whole fucking fact right now, just for a second, that the Second Amendment states that, that it's a right and therefore cannot be negotiated against or any of that shit. It is shall not be infringed sort of thing. Let's forget about that for just a second. You motherfuckers that sit there and say, well, felons shouldn't have firearms. Go sell your guns. Go sell them. Go give them into the government because you're a felon. Plain and fucking simple. You broke the law. You allowed somebody who had not been approved by a government background check to utilize a cartridge-firing modern firearm. That is a felony according to these people, and according to the NFA, and according to the GCA. So, Colion Noir, if you've ever handed somebody else a gun that was registered to you, you're a felon. And I know you should know this because you're a lawyer, dude. Jared, you asked for permission to own a firearm. By the nature of the militia acts, you're a felon. I'm sorry you didn't realize that. VSO. You say that you approve of children being allowed to learn firearms and safe handling and all that. Even though I agree with you on that, you're a felon because you cannot hand anybody under the age of 18 a modern firearm. So, do you see where this is going? This is all the fucking laws that they put out there. I'm not saying that I'm the one who's saying all of this shit. I'm saying you did it. You allowed this. And now you're asking me to vote on something that I couldn't have voted against? Because I wasn't around at the time? Sorry, miss me with your bullshit. This is why I think that, private sales, public sales, doesn't fucking matter. Sales of a firearm should not be regulated in any way. Should not be legislated in any way. There should be no fucking 4473. There should be no fucking special background checks. There should be no NICS. None of it. Because everybody who acquiesces to that is a constitutional traitor. Maybe you didn't realize this, but if you advocate for the NICS background check, you are committing constitutional treason by the definition of what treason is in our Constitution. And I quote, "The negation of any trade by an American citizen or the hampering thereof." Are you paying attention yet? So stop this horseshit of, oh, well, this is how this works, and you guys need to vote on this, and this and this and that. You need to go and call your representatives. No, motherfucker. You need to start just doing. Stop asking for permission. Those guns that you went and asked for permission to have, they're not your guns. They're the government's guns, and you are just borrowing them. Or didn't you recognize that? Didn't you realize? I'm sorry, this is a massive concept that's hard to gather. I'm sorry that it takes me a half an hour to fucking put this out there to you. But this is the reality that you live in. You are committing treason to avoid a felony. Or you're committing a felony to avoid treason. Either way, you're fucked. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Go sit in the corner and think about it for a minute.